Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spoonful podcast. I, as always, am one of your hosts, Mario Piacquadio. Joining me, my good friend, the ex-birthday boy, Mr. Emmett Watkins Jr.
Well, as of publishing, that is true, but as of recording, not quite. Monday is the day.
I'm thinking ahead,
It's all
man. I'm,
good.
I'm in host mode. I'm
Yeah.
in host
Yeah,
mode.
exactly. You're thinking about the content. That's
Absolutely, dude.
right.
Absolutely. How you been, dude?
I have been good. I've been good. I've been having a lot of activity the last couple days, but it's all been good, positive, forward momentum activity. So I'm happy, but I'm ready to calm down at a certain point.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I just, as of recording this, 3 days ago, finally finished this semester of school, and I get a month off. So,
Hell
whew,
yeah.
man, it's been a very, very, very tiring one, but we
Mhm.
made it through. We got good grades, and we're doing what we got to do.
That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Yeah, happy to hear that because I was wondering, yeah, you're probably getting close to the end, but you've already passed it. So
Yeah,
hell yeah.
yeah, just
Um,
wrapped it up, man.
yeah, awesome. And I'll say, as one goes in, another comes in. I just talked to my advisor last week about it. Monday, I'm going to get advised for what classes I should be taking, and then get myself signed up and that thing will be set in stone come Monday, and then I'll be going in January. So
Sweet, dude.
look forward
I'm
to that as
happy to
well.
hear it. Look at us. We're gonna
hmm
be stressing out on the next few episodes here of Spoonful.
Boy, howdy, it's gonna be
Ooh.
stressful.
Ooh.
Oh
We'll end it.
boy.
We'll end the year with a bang. If people who are familiar with our content, we have a yearly a tradition that
hmm
has happened one year, and we'll continue it. But that is not today's
Yes, indeed.
episode. Today, we're taking it easy, right? We're just kind of chatting, catching up. We have some relevant topics to talk about, but mainly we want to talk about your adventures. I'll put as of recent, as of last night, as of recording this.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, here's what my adventure was. Now, I did talk about this on Twitter and all the other social medias and whatnot. I was going to do third year, not in a row, but third year running, an extra live stream where I get a bunch of friends over, set up the cameras, set up the live streaming equipment, all that stuff. We were going to play a bunch of games, raise some money for charity. It's going to be a really good time. Really good time. And I'm talking in past tense, not because it happened, but because it didn't quite happen the way that I expected it to. Um, so, long story short, I'm gonna just be completely upfront. Um, I mismanaged my time for the few weeks before this event. I I tested some things a while ago, and then had a little gap of time where I didn't really do much, and then started putting things together after testing things very close to the deadline. The party it's Sunday now. We had the party last night around 8 o'clock on Saturday. Um, it was Friday and I was putting stuff together.
Oof,
So
not a good spot to be in.
not a great spot. Not a great spot. Now it is a spot that I've been in before. I kind of did that with my last streams where I'd put everything together and I had a couple hours at a time and it would be okay. This time, mainly because I had help. I'll be honest. I've had help previous years, but as far as like decorations and whatnot, none of my events really decorated too aggressively. There wasn't much of a theme around it.
Mm,
This year, it was. I mean, Gabby has an eye for design, so streamers, balloons, the whole works. So
sick.
it was a lot more. Yes, exactly. So it's a lot more to do on that front. And so when it came down to it, it was like, all right, to actually set up the live stream, I need a few hours to get that all hooked up. And then once I had that time, I put things together and realized my capture card. Something happened within the last few weeks where my capture card, everything will go into it, but nothing will output to the TV from it.
Fuck.
So I had to take the L on that one. So nothing got live streamed, but the party did go on as planned. It was a lot of fun. Everyone pretty much came right on time, actually. Like one person came like 5 minutes after 8 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're not ready yet. Give us a minute." We took like 5 more minutes to get ourselves ready, and then we went outside, and everyone else just about was there too.
Nice. Sick.
So it was really nice. I'm kind of wishing part of me wishes that I did live stream it because while the capture device didn't work and none of the games that we played were really working, we did play another. If you remember last year, I did Jeopardy, where it was like all the questions were based around my interests and whatnot. This year we did a Family Feud like.
Mm.
Uh, I wanted it to be a lot easier for people to like have a guess, even if they don't know me. So less obscure topics, maybe obscure answers to the topics, but the topic itself was not obscure. So that way it was a lot easier for people to like feel like they had a chance to answer something. And it worked perfectly. People were engaged with that the whole time. We
Hell
got
yeah.
through all the items. Everyone was super happy about it. Made me feel great because I was very worried about like I know people didn't like this game last year, so I'm really nervous about doing it this year. It was a rousing success, and even I put it in the beginning. We'll do this for 16 rounds or until people get tired of it. They didn't get tired of it. Eventually,
Sweet.
they did get tired of like keeping track of like the rotations of the teams and whatnot. So at a certain point, we're just like, we'll just all just scream out the answers and you click them if they're up there because people had fun doing that. Um, so yeah, that was a rousing success. So we did that. And then pretty much after we did that, we played a little bit of Jackbox and it was like, all right, it's starting to wind down. It's like midnight. Let's open the presents. Let's get some cake. Let's do all the final things. Then most of the crowd started to thin out, and then like the close friends stuck around. We watched Good Burger 2 until we all fell asleep, and that was about it.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. It definitely could have, would have, probably have been a really good thing to see on stream. I'll say the game show. The game show would have killed on stream
Mm.
because there were some really good moments. There was
Oh, I
one
bet.
question on the game show. There was one question that I had where it was, "What are my top 5 favorite Emmets that are not me?" And it was kind of a bullshit one, but it was also like, if you think about it, there's a couple Emmets that you
There's a
know
few
from like
Emmets out
around.
there. Oh, okay.
Exactly. Well,
Okay.
like, number one was my dad, of course.
That one's a given.
E- Exactly. Emmett Sr., of course. Same name as me, or
Shout out.
me, same name as him. Indeed. Shout out to father. Um, so, yeah, that was number one, of course. I had Emmett Till on there.
I was
I
gonna say,
had,
is Emmett Till up there? He should be. Sweet.
of
Good.
course,
Okay.
which is,
Good.
it's weird to like put his name in this context, but it was there anyway.
Shout out Emmett Till,
Uh,
man. You know,
indeed.
R.I.P.
He was on there. Yes, indeed. Doc Brown from Back to the Future, Emmett Brown,
That's good.
which
They wouldn't have thought of
that
that.
yeah, they didn't think of it either. They just said name a random name, and they said Emmett Brown, and it was up there.
Like,
They were shocked.
okay.
Exactly, because they had nothing else in the tank. I had Emmett from the Lego Movie up there, and I had what is it? Oh, Emmett Graves from Starhawk, which I assumed no one would get, but someone got it like second try.
Sweet. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I would
Yeah,
have gotten a Lego movie. I feel like I would have gotten there eventually.
yeah,
Like if I
exactly.
thought about it hard enough. But
Y-
some deep pulls. Some deep pulls in there.
Indeed.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's
Wasn't
that's
now?
that's kind of the vibe. All of
I like it. I like it. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there some sort of technical difficulty with last year's birthday stream as well? I seem to remember something.
what the difficulty was last year. Last year was way more last minute than this year was.
Mm, mm.
Where last year the game show portion, like when I did this the Family Feud thing I did this year, I made that like almost 2 weeks ago. Last year that Jeopardy game, I was making that the night before.
Oof.
And then still that morning, I still got up and connected everything and then cleaned around the house, did that whole day by myself. I think my mom helped do some stuff in the bathroom, but everything else was me organizing stuff, me moving furniture. It was a lot. Um, but yeah, so I was like, let me not do that this year. I had all the stream assets and everything set up well beforehand. I had made the game well beforehand. Pretty much anything I had to do on the computer, I had all that set up. So I just needed to bring everything into the other room, which is why this looks different because my computer's still in the den. Um, Bring everything into the other room, plug everything up, and just get everything ready to go. That shouldn't have taken more than an hour, but I was sitting here for over an hour trying to get this capture card working. But long story short, the technical hiccup last year was me just doing all that stuff so last minute that when the actual stream started, no one came at 6 o'clock. So no one was here for the good first 2 hours of the stream, and then my friend Nick came around like 8:30 or 9, and I started the stream with just myself for about half an hour, and I said, "All right, guys, I'll be right back," and then took a nap on the couch
That's what it was. I'm
until.
like, yeah, I thought
Yep,
you fell asleep on stream or something.
yep, that's absolutely what it
Nice.
was. Nick came in and woke me up, and I was like, "Shit, the stream's just been looking at this please stand by screen for 3 hours. Good lord."
Amazing.
And I
Amazing.
wanted to avoid that this year, so we
Good.
would have if we were streaming.
Nice. Nice. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
you had all the right intentions in mind. It just sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, intentions only stand for so much, but I tried.
You give it your
So
best
I'll
go.
try harder next time. I'll try harder
No,
next
you
time.
got it. I'm happy for you and happy early birthday today. Happy belated birthday to when we're watching this. You
Indeed,
know?
indeed. And if you want to, I do have a couple of the gifts that I've received
Ooh,
over here.
please go
Um,
ahead.
we'll do a brief showcase. We'll be very quick about it. So, Gabby went a little crazy getting gifts, to the point where I'm like, shit, I gotta double up on some stuff for Christmas. Um, so one thing I got, this one,
Ah,
the
that's
first dollar.
sick. Love that.
Yeah, she actually saw someone on IG who paints these, so
That's
I was really,
fantastic.
yeah, very fantastic. Love that. She also got, this is what I was really surprised by. I was feeling this because whenever I open gifts, oh Lord, everything's falling.
Oh
Whenever I
boy.
open gifts, I try to like close my eyes until it's out of the bag so I don't get a hint and I see the whole thing at once. I felt this as a ball, and I'm like, did she buy a basketball? What is this? She bought the Knockout City dodgeball.
Damn, she knows you, dude. She really
She
does know
does.
you.
Yeah, the benefits of not shutting up on my part.
Right?
And then she also got the armadillo from Knockout City, the little
Nice.
mascot.
Nice.
So I was like, oh wow, that's a deeper cut than even I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she got a little enamel pin, Invader Zim enamel pin,
Sweet.
of like the fake parents. Got a Rocket Power minifigure that I'm
Sweet.
gonna put up at some point. Very excited for these. There's other stuff in here. She has like a little record player that you put on your air vent in your car. It
Oh, I
might be
have
deep
that
down here.
too. I have one of
Oh,
those
you have
too.
one of those.
Yeah, and
Tell
people
Okay,
compliment me about that thing all the time.
explain how that works. Because I saw it and I'm like, I understand the concept, but I'm like, how's that
Yeah.
actually gonna look?
So basically, for anybody who doesn't know at home, it looks like a tiny little mini like old school vinyl player, right? That is an air freshener vent for your car, right? So it has those little three prong
Ah,
things that you put
yeah,
on the vent, and as the air blows through it, you can switch out the actual vinyls are the scent whatever's, and you can put it on the
that's what it
plate
is.
and move the needle on it and everything. And as the air hits it, the
It
vinyl
rotates.
spins and
That's
it
really
makes a
cool.
sound kind of it sounds more like a CD spinning than a vinyl spinning, but it still makes a spinning sound. It's super cool.
Nice, nice. Okay. Well, yeah, she got me a couple of albums to put on it too.
Those
She
are
got me
awesome.
like
I Of course, if you
yeah.
had to guess which ones are the albums I have, I think you could guess that.
The T Swift collection, most
Oh
likely.
hell yeah, dog.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And you probably know the ones that I got.
Yep, I sure do.
Yep.
I sure do. I sure do.
Yeah.
I bet.
The K. Lamar collection for the folks at home.
Absolutely.
Um, got a lot of Kendrick albums on that, and then a couple other ones that were sprinkled in, a little bit Childish Gambino, some other things. So,
Sweet.
really happy with that one. So I was really happy she got me that. Also, a Kirby succulent, which is in my room
Oh,
around the way. So,
fantastic. We love that.
yes. Yes, I got to
Nice.
learn how to take care of things. So I'm like, let me learn how to
Succulents are
keep a
not
plant alive.
they're not hard. They're one of the easier ones. So
Indeed, indeed.
you'll
It's
be
good
okay.
training wheels.
It's
It's good
great
training
training.
wheels.
Great
Hmm.
training wheels. Great training wheels. Nice, dude. I
Indeed.
For me, obviously not my birthday, right? That's coming up. But Christmas came early a little bit for me. I mentioned it to you ahead of time. We in fact for those of
Ah,
you at home, the recording of this was a little bit delayed because I had some setup to do due to the fact that there were some
yeah.
really good Black Friday deals. I'm gonna take a picture. I thought I had a picture. There were some really good Black Friday deals. And here I'll be in the picture too.
Oh boy,
All right, lovely.
double screen.
There were some really good Black Friday deals, and I couldn't pass up on them, and my dad wanted to buy me something tech related, and I wanted to get some upgrades for a bit, so I did a whole platform upgrade on my PC. And
Wow.
for the people who might not know, that means a new CPU, a new motherboard, new RAM. The only thing that's not upgraded on my PC is my power supply, which I already had, my graphics card, because graphics card, I can't afford a new graphics card. Those things are like
Yeah,
$1,600. I can't pay for that.
fair. Absolutely.
I don't have that kind of money. Um, and I got a new case as well, and it's a very pretty case. The case, here's okay, super quick tangent, right? I've been wanting to upgrade my case for a really long time because my old case, the airflow was a mess, and I was just kind of tired of the look of it. But the whole thing, if you have a PC, you're going to understand it. If you have to upgrade your case, you have to deconstruct the entire PC and
Yes.
build it back up wholly again, right? So a lot of people will do what I do, where they won't upgrade their case until they have an excuse to upgrade their case, which is upgrade everything else, right? I got the North, Fractal Design North, which for people who don't know doesn't mean anything, but for people who know, I consider it to be the prettiest case that there is.
Oh, with the vertical line, or yeah, vertical lines.
Yeah,
Oh,
and those
that looks good.
lines are wood. It's real wood. It's super
That's a
pretty.
bold ass decision. I like
Yeah,
that a
right.
lot. Holy hell.
It looks very fancy. So yeah, that's been my new toy. Christmas came early for me personally. I've been
Hell yeah.
playing around with it a lot. I'm happy about it.
I love that. I love that a whole lot. That's really dope, man. That's really dope. Yeah. It's in fact, I mean, I'm doing this on the PC pretty much, but I let my friend borrow my Xbox for the last couple days, which sucks a little bit because probably the biggest gift I got is related to that. So I'm gonna have to use it on this PC.
Mm.
Um, I got well, Gabby did this. Let me say that. Let me cite my source.
Oh,
Got one of
nice.
these, the what is it?
Oh
The
yeah.
Elite controller 2. And if you see, it has like my little initials there. Kind of hard to
Sweet,
see. I
man.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm using a
And it's
different
black
webcam,
and
but
it's
yeah.
black and orange.
Yep.
That's you to a T,
e-
homie.
exactly.
Sweet.
Everything I've always wanted. So yeah, I was super appreciative of that. But
Nice.
yeah, yeah. Christmas came early for both of us.
Nice. We
Now
have
I got
new
to make
toys
sure
to play
Christmas comes
with.
on time. Yes, exactly. Now we got to make sure Christmas comes on time for everyone else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Big time. Big
Yep.
time.
That's
Well,
where I'm at.
in the spirit of the year being done, right? It's become kind of tradition for every every single service that you have to give you a Spotify Wrapped, right? Like Spotify kind of
Yep.
started this trend. Which, by the way, Amazon gave me a fucking Prime Wrapped.
Like things you buy on
It
Amazon?
was it was like how much money you've saved on Prime.
Oh hell no.
I'm like,
That's how
okay.
every time I see that I'm like, all right, so I spent 3 times that.
Exactly. I'm like, that's not great. It's like, yeah, I guess I didn't have to pay for shipping for all that, but that means I spent a lot more than that.
Hmm.
And then the
Absolutely.
one that was bullshit, I'm gonna call out Amazon right now. It had that one, which fine. It's kind of a cool tidbit to know, like, oh well, I guess it's a good thing I have Prime, right? The one that is total bullshit. They had one where it was like hours you've saved, and then I hit it. I'm like, what does that even mean? And it was like estimating how much you would have spent buying these things at a physical location. We deduct you saved 67 hours. I'm like, shut up, shut up. All
We
right,
don't need to be productive to that degree. That's
come on,
insane.
dog. I don't. No, stop it, stop it.
Yeah, they can
But
have that one.
Spotify raps are fun things that people do like to share on social media, and they're very good at what they're at. I'm not on social media, so I this is I guess how I share mine. Now I will say
Yeah,
I don't have Spotify either. I have YouTube Music, but they do their own thing.
same thing, same thing.
They do
Close
something.
enough.
I forget the name of it. And
It's
yeah,
I
so
think it's literally just YouTube wrapped.
probably. That sounds about right. But yeah, we figured it'd be fun to talk about it right now because why not?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh boy. All right, so it's gonna be different. is going to be differently categorized because we're doing two different things. I know that YouTube Music. I also have the YouTube Music one, but it's way worse because
So
I
bad.
only use YouTube for certain things.
I also like am try. Oh, there it is. Your recap. They call it your recap.
Ah, recap. Okay,
There it
I'll
is.
I'll accept recap. Oh boy. So let's see here. 44. All right, so how do we want to do this? Do we want to go ahead and start with the top five? Do you have a genres section on the YouTube one?
I
I,
think I do. I'm going through it. You would have thought I would
I-
have prepared better here, but
it's fine. I also have my recap too, so I'm gonna see if I can adapt it and come into the middle part of it.
I also
Sounds like
do
you had.
have a topic related to the recap that's not it's music related, we'll say, and it deviates a bit
Ooh,
from the recap. So this is why the curtain is being pulled. The reason why I thought this was going to be a great topic.
I like it. I like it.
I don't have
Um,
genres apparently, but it goes
that's honestly one of the first things I'm seeing here is the artist. So let's just do our top five. So,
right.
what are your top five artists that you listen to
Okay.
in the year?
My top 5 artists.
Oh
Who
boy. Well,
Anybody
I
out
know who's
here?
number one.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, number one is of course Taylor Swift. Number one is
Bingo,
absolutely of
bingo.
course Taylor Swift because that adds up. For the first time in a while, actually, I will say Kendrick Lamar was not in my top 5. He's been in my top 5 for
Wow.
like 3-4 years running, and not this year. Not this year.
Hmm. Holy
I
shit.
guess I guess I guess screw that guy. Um, Number two, they climbed up the ranks, and this connects to what I want to talk about. Number two, I have the Beatles.
Well,
Listen to a lot of
okay.
Beatles.
Did not that comes out of left field
Yeah, I
entirely.
got a lot of left field stuff coming up and coming up.
Wow.
Number three,
Alrighty.
it could sound a bit random, but understanding that Jimena and I bought tickets to this artist concert a long time ago, kind of prior to some shit going down. Um,
Oh. Kanye West.
no, no. It's not that bad, but it's not great either. And we were
Oh
just
boy.
preparing, and we were having fun, and we had the tickets, and the ticket prices went down, so we couldn't resell them without losing money, and we ended up going to the show anyway. Doja Cat is my number three.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I look, I like Doja Cat a lot. I'm on record saying that,
I like
but
her a lot too.
oof.
Let me say, put it on the record. Great performer. The show was a ton of fun. I like the new album quite a bit. And that's all I'll say. And she's my number three, apparently.
I can say all that except for the fact that I like the album. I barely listened to that new album. It's not for me in the same
Fair.
way that Planet Her was, but
Different
it is
vibe.
what it is.
Different vibe
Yeah,
for sure.
different vibe, not necessarily a vibe I like, but hey, maybe if she takes her feet out of racial chat room, she'll make better music. Anyway,
Please, Jesus,
uh,
goddamn, Jesus. Fucking hell.
yeah, absolutely.
Number four, this one is one of those. This is Jimenez influence. What we laughed about the most is that Jimenez rapped. You could see my influence on it very much so because there's a lot of Taylor Swift in her rapped and a lot and Kendrick Lamar and stuff in her rapped. And in my rap, there's a
Bingo.
lot of Jimena influence. And Rex Orange County, being my number four out artist, is Jimena influence all the way.
Wow,
Yeah.
goodness
That one I didn't
gracious.
see coming. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's just straight up Jimena. Okay, cool. Sweet, sweet, sick.
Yeah.
And my number five artist is, I'm happy with, Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
I love Olivia
I respect
Rodrigo.
that.
New album's great. Love that new album. And yeah, that's where I'm at. How about you, sir?
I will say for Olivia Rodrigo, I got like halfway through that new album and I was like, I'm not excited right now.
Okay.
Thought I would come back, still have not. So,
I like it
but
better
God
than the
bless her.
first
She's
one.
okay.
I like it better than the first one.
Ooh. See, I thought the first one was pretty good.
First one's
So
great, and I like this one better, so it goes to
maybe I
show.
should give this one.
I,
I
I
might try giving
recommend.
this another chance.
All I'll
Yeah.
say, I remember talking to Jimena, right, leading up to, like, in between, where we didn't even know she was releasing a second album. I kept telling Jimena's, like, I feel like I'm probably in the minority here. But, because, the first album, it's, like, a good mix of, like, singer-songwriter acoustic stuff and
Hmm.
rock-inspired tracks, right? Like, very, like, punk rock, like, pop rock punk pop or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Those were the two vibes of the record, right? And me being a guy with a rock and roll connection, I guess you could say. Me listening to a lot of rock music when I was younger, I
Yeah.
super dug those tracks, and I was like, I hope the next album is more centered around those vibes versus the acoustic vibes. And I got what I wanted. That's not what Jimena wanted, not what a lot of other people wanted. But Guts is more rock focused than acoustic. I feel like the balance is flipped. If the other
Hmm.
if Sour was like 70% acoustic and 30% rock, this one's the other way around, and I dig that.
Hmm. Okay. I don't remember that being the case the first half I listened to, but I think I'm just misremembering. So I'm definitely gonna
Right.
give that
I
another
mean,
shot, see
it's
if I can
not a
have accurate.
Metallica record, right? Like we're not out
Oh,
here,
I,
but
as someone who doesn't really listen to Metallica like that, my skew and view of like what rock music is going to be different.
well,
So
we're gonna rock is gonna come up later. Is all we'll say.
okay, all right, I like it. I like it. So I guess with that, that leaves me to tell you my top artist of
Please do.
2023. I'm going to start in reverse because I did not expect number one coming at all, and you will see why.
Whoa.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it. I was so shocked.
See, I
Number.
started at one
Mhm.
because it's just an easy one.
Exactly, exactly. Now we got the opposite pattern going here. So
Mm,
let's get someone obvious. I mean, actually, I couldn't get more obvious. This was completely on accident. But
nice.
number five, if you're watching the show, Eminem
Nice. Of
on
course.
the shirt I'm wearing. Um, yeah, I don't know what it is. He put out an extended version of Marshall Mathers LP2, and I think it had like an extra song or two. I was listening to that, and then Eminem's one of those artists where every now and then I'm just like, I just want to turn my brain off and just listen to something that I know I like can engage with on a light level. His stuff is like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Certain songs, though, I have to steer clear.
Oh yeah. How
It's
does
like
it
I can't
feel?
listen to Kim casually.
How does it feel like just what he is now? Of like, yeah, this dude just fucking lost it, man. Just totally lost it.
Look, it, he lost it in some ways. He is no longer the person that he was in the 90s and early 2000s, but everyone refuses to give him room to be something different.
Mm,
When he tries to do anything else that is not that exact type of vibe and tone, they shit on it like they did Recover or not Recovery. What was it? Revival. No one,
revival.
everyone hated Revival. And yes, Revival was not good. It was very commercial. It was very kind of like vapid sounding, but like there wasn't a consensus of like, well, at least he tried something else. It wasn't that. They said fuck that, and so he came back with the same vitriolic shit that everyone loves him for. Um, so when it comes to Eminem, I like his wordplay. I think he does really cool things with words. I like some of his flows, but like I'm not looking to him for messages. I'm not looking for him for anything impressive musically.
Mm,
If I just want a lot of words thrown at me, he's who I go to, and often I just wanted that. So you know, he has a lot of flaws. Let's just keep clear. Like, don't listen to Kim. Don't listen to like half that album. Don't listen to three quarters. Basically, don't listen to half of his first album and the second one. Then after that, you can cut that half in half of songs that you can listen to. The
nice.
longer you go, the more it's like, oh, it's not that bad. And then it kind of goes back up once he gets into the vitriol, like I'm responding to everyone hating my last album and stuff. So that's a lot of Eminem talk. So let's go on to someone that I actually can like and not feel guilty about. Number four, we talked about him a little bit last year. JID.
Nice.
Um, JID. He's a good artist. I don't know what else there is
Great.
to say that I haven't said last year. The Forever Story was great. He put out the Forever Story Deluxe Edition, which finally had that extra song
2003.
that yeah, exactly. That sample that didn't get cleared originally, they took that sample out and just uploaded the rest of the song, and now the project feels cohesive.
Hmm.
Um, that album is incredible. That album is great. He still makes great music. I am still listening to him. I'm running back into the old stuff. I'm listening to stuff where he's featured on it, so it shows up as a Spotify play for him as well. He's just a great artist, great overall artist, and rumor is he's making like some type of not a sequel to the Forever Story, but he's calling it Forever in a Day, and he's going to add some bonus tracks. So
Sweet.
I'm I'm very excited to see that project, and
I
also
I will
apparently he's
say
doing like a mixtape.
I'm not. I only consume TikTok through Jimena, right? We'll do the thing where she'll like TikToks and stuff. But when I noticed that now surround sound is like a trend, I was happy for
Oh
my guy.
yeah,
I'm like, good for him, dude.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah. He
good
deserves
for
it.
him. He deserves that
He
shit. I
deserves
was very stoked for him.
Yeah, JID's really good at like he makes music that's great, and every time someone listens to it, they also think it's great. But he doesn't do he doesn't try to be viral. He doesn't make music for virality, but it just works. Like he had that enemy verse on the Arcane soundtrack,
Oh my god,
and now you got this TikTok trend with surround sound. Like it's working out for him, so I'm really
good for
happy. I
him.
hope. Yeah, exactly. Good for him. I hope he takes over. I hope he's the new I hope he's up there with Kendrick and people like him when they talk about who the goats are. So
Hmm.
good for him. Number three, a little context on number three. If you guys also listen to Welcome to the Thing, which is another podcast I'm on, we recently did an episode where we ranked all of our top 5 white rappers. This was my number one pick, Marlon Craft.
Mm.
Listen to a lot of Marlon Craft. He's just some dude from New York who's been rapping for a while. He has some really impressive freestyles on YouTube on Sway in the Morning and whatnot. And I said, well, he's good on a freestyle, but let's see what his songs sound like. And his songs sound just as good.
Okay.
So I was really impressed with them. The album that made me impressed was Home Court Advantage. He made a sequel to Home Court Advantage this year, henceforth me listening to him a lot. So great dude, great music. He's making even more music. I think in January he's dropping more stuff. So dude doesn't sleep. Dude doesn't stop, and he deserves the success that's coming his way because he's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So good for Marlon Craft.
Shout out.
Um, indeed. Number two is probably who would have been my obvious number one, Kendrick Lamar. I mean,
Shocker.
what? Exactly, shocker, right? This is my Taylor Swift at number one. But yeah, Kendrick at number two, good stuff. Just going in the back catalog, listening to things just for comfort whenever I
Yeah,
need it.
I'm
So
gonna. Actually, you'd be interested in this. The one thing, the one Kendrick record, or not really record, but the one Kendrick project I've never listened to fully is Untitled Unremastered, and I never really,
ah,
being somebody who wasn't around the hip hop scene at that time, right? I didn't really understand the idea that it was being made in conjunction with To Pimp a Butterfly, and it's kind of its own thing, but it carries a lot of the vibes over and stuff. So I didn't really know that until like I heard of it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta sit down and listen to that now. So I will. I will. I'll keep
yeah,
you. I'll keep you all posted.
it's good stuff, but do be aware it is the B sides of To Pimp
Oh,
a Butterfly.
I fully
Yeah.
understand that, but if it carries over some of the vibe, I'm happy with that.
Yes. Okay. In that case, your expectations are set, so you're good. But yeah, Kendrick, great artist, and also we saw him at One Music Fest, so I think
Yeah.
part of this was me being like, "Baby, listen to these Kendrick songs so you can be ready to see him."
Nice.
So that type of thing. Number one is a shocker. Someone I might have to explain. Babytron. Um, are you familiar with Babytron at all?
No, when you said baby, I was like, really, baby Keem, and then you hit me with Tom, Tron, and I'm like, what? No, not what I
Nope.
thought. I don't think
Babytron.
I've heard Baby Tron before.
Babytron is the first time I heard him was on one of these Detroit songs. Detroit hip hop has a completely different vibe to a lot of other hip hop right now. People are rapping offbeat intentionally. Um, and he's one of those types of rappers where he kind of does that, but he is all about punchlines. Every single bar has a new punchline, and he's just stacking on top, on top, on top,
Mm.
adding complications to the punchlines. It's insane. And when I discovered him, something in me was just like, man, I just want punchlines. That's all I want for like a good 2 or 3 months. I was like, just give me punchlines after punchlines, and he raps on a lot of like goofy ass beats. He's rapping on like the Harry Potter theme from the movies.
Sick. All right.
Like he'll just put a bunch of drums over that and rap over it. He rapped over like the Keenan and Kel theme song. He rapped over like just a bunch of random shit. And these samples are on Spotify. So I'm like, did he get this cleared or is he not famous enough to be on their radar yet? Like he has a bunch of goofy ass beats, and then sometimes his beats aren't goofy, and it's just like a legitimately hard song. Um, there's one there's this one song called Cat Dog, and the chorus literally goes, "You barking and shit, but you pussy, cat dog," and it's
Nice.
like it's so stupid, but it was like candy. It was just candy to me. And once again, no messages Babytron is giving. Every now and then he'll have like a personal introspective song, but you're listening to him for punchlines and some goofy ass beats, and it's just a good fun time. It's honestly like hip hop Fortnite to me. Whereas Empty Calories, absolutely, but it's very
Sometimes
colorful,
that's what
very
you want.
bright, and very fun.
Sometimes you want to munch
Exactly,
on empty calories. They're good to munch on.
exactly,
Good mouthfeel.
exactly. So yeah, those are my top artists.
Okay.
And yeah, couldn't believe Babytron. I'm in his top 2% of listeners. I couldn't believe that.
Wow. Look at this fucking
Holy
guy.
shit.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was insane. But yeah, those are the top five there. Do we want to do maybe top five songs real quick,
Oh, I'm
or how do
curious.
we
Yeah.
want to play it?
Let me see which ones are my top 5 songs. That's a great question. The recap for
Because my
those of
number.
you who don't know just is stories.
Mhm.
So like it times out. So okay, your top
Yeah.
songs. Hit me with them.
All right. I'm gonna start from the top this time because the surprise is number five. Um, Number one, "Half Doing Dope" by JID featuring Babytron and Lil Yachty. I love that song. That was on repeat for years,
Sick.
weeks. Number two, "From the D to the A" featuring Lil Yachty and T Grizzly. So
Sweet.
something about Lil Yachty this year. Don't know.
Sound
Number
about it.
three, exactly. Number three, "The Heart Part Five" by Kendrick Lamar. Of course, that song's great. I listen to it all the time. It's really good. It motivates me. Number four, just as we were talking about, "Surround Sound" by JID featuring 21
Nice.
Savage and Baby Tate. So yeah, surround sound's really good. Number five, this might be a surprise until you consider the fact that I listen to a lot of like slow jams and R&B. So number five is "Always and Forever" by Heatwave, which
Sweet.
is it's a classic song. It's a great song. I think it might be on our ultimate love song playlist, but that's just a good ass love song. So yeah, those are my top five. Good stuff.
Sweet. Can I just say I'm going through it and it does this thing. It's like, did your music moods match your feelings this year or whatever? And it's like a timeline, and it's funny to me
Yep.
because it's just 3 different Taylor Swift albums. That's my timeline. I'm like, thanks, cool.
Yep. Accurate.
So my tracks. I need to preface this with 2 things. Okay,
Oh
number
boy.
one, truly numbers wise, I guess I did not listen to that much music this year, right? Which is part of what I'm going to be discussing. Only a total of like 6,000 minutes, close to 7,000 minutes, which in the grand scheme of
Mm.
thing, it's not that much. I've had much more than that before. And number two, well, you know what? We'll get to it when I say the number one song. We
Yeah.
will get to it.
Fair enough.
So number 5 is "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift, which I'm interested in because it's not normally not a song that I'll play just because. So it's, you know
Yeah.
what, good vibes. Why not?
Casual.
Then we have "One in a Million" by Rex Orange County, which that one's a classic. Jimena and I will put it on the car and sing it together, right? So that's what that one's all about.
Very nice.
Number three, number 3 and 2 are both from Midnight's, and they're both singles. So you know what? We have "Lavender Haze" and "Karma." I didn't think
Yeah.
I'd listen to it that much this year, but we'll take it, right? We'll take it. And now number
Indeed.
one. Number one, I have a very serious bone to pick with Jimena, because there's this
Oh,
one song that she played once and she was really into, and it was a song that I got sick of really quickly, which then, of course, turned into every single time we were driving together, which is all the time, basically every day. And she would take my phone to play music. She would play this song to annoy me. And now it is my top
Baby
track.
Shark.
It is "Mona Lisa" by Dominic Fike, who, if you don't
Wow.
know, Dominic Fike is that guy from Euphoria. That one guy from Euphoria. He dropped an album, and there is a
Wow.
single called "Mona Lisa," and I fucking hate that song. And Jimena made it my top track. So thanks, babe.
That's hilarious.
Love you. Yeah. When that happened, because we were watching it together, she was telling me what everything was, and she just saw that, and she just started cracking up. And I was like, okay, I know what this is.
Oh my God. That's incredible. Well, hey, now just trick her and be like, next time she wants to listen to Mona Lisa, I'm a Little Wayne song.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Like, what's this? Um, but yeah, yeah. But I'll say for your minutes, I had about 10,000 more than you. I had
Yeah.
1,600 minutes.
Yeah, no, I clocked in all-time low minutes for me, but
Yeah,
but
or 16,000. Yeah.
all of this connects. All of this connects. I'm gonna rip through my 5 albums. I'll let you rip through your 5 albums, and then I'll go on my fun little tangent here.
Ooh. All
Of my
right.
top
We'll,
five,
we'll rip through those.
let's do a quick game. Of my top 5 albums, how many of them do you think are Taylor Swift albums? That's the real question.
I'm gonna say three of them.
It's four. It's
Oh
four.
God, I was trying to give you credit.
Close. Very close. You have to think about two different Taylor's versions dropped this year, so that's already two in there, right?
Makes
We got
sense.
Speak Now Taylor's version at number 5. We've got the Beatles' White Album at number 4.
Ah, wow. Okay, that's the one.
That's the one. We've got
Jeez.
Reputation at number 3. We've got 1989 Taylor's version at number 2, which I don't like. I like the original one better. The mixing is
Oh
awful.
wow.
Mixing super bad. They fucked up the whole album so badly. Every other Taylor's version has been way better than the original because the producers that are doing it are like country producers and the instrumentals are so much better and the mixing is
Oh
so
yeah.
much better. It just brought everything to a beautiful new level of clarity. But they kept the same producers, and 1989, for people who adore that record, is seen as like a perfect
Oh yeah.
pop record, right? And it's
Yeah.
it's produced by Max Martin and Shellback, who are like known to be ultra fucking perfectionists when it comes to the pop records they produce, and they didn't get them back. And I'm sorry, but they fucked up the whole record, man. And I was scared that they would do
Damn.
that. I was scared that they would do that, and I told everybody, I'm like, I don't know about 1989. I hope they do it right because it's a special album, and they didn't. It doesn't sound as good. So
1989.
yeah, no, I that one the first Taylor's version that I'm like, oof, I don't think I'm gonna keep listening to that one. And then number one, surprisingly, Midnight's, which
Wow.
I like Midnight's, but not enough to be my number one record. But it goes to show I didn't really listen to that much music this year,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
my
That's
numbers are a little
absolutely how it
skewed.
went. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Spotify Rap does top albums. I don't think
Okay,
they do top albums at all.
well,
So
you heard it
it
here first.
is
Shout out to YouTube Music. It's better. You get YouTube Premium, dude.
honestly,
It's such a good deal, dog.
I'll be honest. I am paying for YouTube Music because of YouTube Premium, and Premium that's worth the money alone. Music is just a bonus.
It's the
So
best bonus
good
ever,
stuff.
dude. It's the best, and
It
you're
really
gonna you're
is.
gonna go to school. You get the student discount on it. It's cheaper, dog. It's like I think it's like $8 for the whole thing.
You might convince me because I did have the student discount with Spotify, and then
Right?
it got like Hulu and Showtime on
Yes.
top of that. So
Yes.
I'm like, I might try to collect once more.
Hmm.
But then
Do all your
instead,
student discounts, man. But go ahead.
yes, I'm taking all advantage of all those. Instead of that, I'll give you my top five listen to podcasts this year.
Nice.
Which I don't use Spotify for podcasts. I use Pocket Cast, but they had their little rap thing go on at the same exact time. So I said, hey, why not? And this was pretty quick. You probably know all of these, everyone. Uh, Number five, the Next Leader podcast. All the Giant Bomb people who left, they made their own thing, and boom, bam, bing. Number four, Kind of Funny Games Daily. Of course, that's obvious. Number three, Something Rotten, which I don't know if I've talked about Something Rotten on this show. Have I?
I don't think so.
Um, okay. Long story short, Something Rotten. It is Jacob Geller, video essayist, and oh my God, Metallica is rad is his Twitter, but that is not his actually his name. Blake Hester. Blake Hester from Game Informer.
Mm.
They get together and they talk about just games that are like kind of fucked up and a little bit like just dirty and just like unpleasant games. But they started with like Kane and Lynch, the series, because those games are like just games about awful men, and the second one just looks really fucked up on top of that. So they went from there to the Max Payne 3, and then from there they went on to like I think they're doing like Silent Hill 2. They
Mm.
they think they tried to do Condemned before. They do a lot of games, and now they're stretching it out to even include stuff like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which kind of applies, and Devil May Cry reboot. So it's a really interesting series, and then they get guests and everything. They had Noah Caldwell Gervais on here, and I was like, oh
Nice.
my god, I was so excited because he never does like things that aren't his videos. So I was so excited to see him on a different thing. So yeah, that was good. Number two was MinMax exclusive Patreon feed. So whatever I was listening to, mainly their main show. And then number one is Kind of Funny's Patreon feed. So, all their shows just ad free. So yeah, good job for podcasts. That's what I got for that. But outside of podcasts, there's a lot of musical stuff that we were talking about as well. So regale me. What is this topic you have relating to music?
So I had one of those moments where just your life changes a little bit, right? You just view things a little differently. And it came about this, right? I've always had this perception about music where my dad my dad was like a record collector growing up, right? Like he has back home, he has like a giant trunk full of like old vinyls that it was his life's work to collect vinyls and stuff like that, right? And he always played. He's mainly a rock guy, right? He grew up in that era where rock was the zeitgeist, so he listened to a lot of rock and roll and whatever. And he would always show me that stuff, and I always appreciated it for what it is. But in general, with music, I never had enough energy to put into it, right? Because like to find music you like and to listen to varieties and whatnot, you got to put a certain amount of effort into it, and I never did that too much. I was always kind of just happy just listening to Taylor Swift and a few other things here and there and just living my life, and I'm like that's cool. That covers my music needs. But I found myself doing this really silly thing, Emmett. This really silly thing where Anthony Fantano, I'm sure.
Yes, I do.
So
Where's this going?
no,
Music
it's
critic on YouTube.
music critic on YouTube, famous music critic on YouTube. Just for a while, I would in and out videos of him would get recommended to me, and I would watch a few and watch a few reviews or whatnot of albums that I know of. And but I found myself getting, the YouTube algorithm feeding me more and more videos of his and in his second channel where he's just discussing music as a whole. And I'm comparing and contrasting with music I like and music my dad showed me when I was little and stuff like that. And I found myself in this loop where I'm like, man, I sure am watching a lot of music, a lot of videos about music, but I'm sure not listening to a lot of music. Why don't I use this time to listen to a lot of different kinds of music rather than watch videos about music? And I can still watch the videos about music as a guide, and I can sit down and listen to a bunch of music. So the reason why I say my my rep next year I think is going to look very differently because I've been just on a tear of listening to just a bunch of stuff from all over the place and old stuff and new stuff and stuff that I've missed. My if you go to my YouTube music and I scroll you through like my most recent is this is essentially like my list of whether stuff that I've already listened to or stuff that I'm in the process of listening to. You'll notice you don't see Taylor Swift until the very end because I haven't listened to Taylor Swift in a while because I've just been listening to a
Okay.
bunch of random stuff.
I
And
like
yeah,
it. I
I
like it.
just now I am in this mode where I'm enjoying just listening to a bunch of different music and just sitting down and listening to albums and stuff, and I'm very much so in that groove, which is why I'm very curious to see why what my next year is going to look like. And the reason why the Beatles were in my top is because the Beatles is one of the things I started with. I started this journey with. And since I didn't clock in that many hours of music listening to their discography, or at least the part of their discography that interested me, was enough to put them up in the top, right?
For sure. For sure.
But I've been doing
Huh.
a whole bunch of stuff, man. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff where it's old rock that I've been interested in. Obviously, the Beatles. I've been listening to hella Pink Floyd. I've been listening to modern hip hop, modern rock as well. There's this band Ghost that's awesome. They're sick. They're a good time. I've been listening to Tyler the Creator. I've been listening to Mac Miller.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been all over the place, man, and it's been a blast.
Hmm. That's really nice to hear. That honestly, that made me look a little bit inward because I can't tell you how much of my year has been spent watching videos about things that I liked doing before I just plopped on the chair. And I do feel like, let me ask this: when did you start that journey, listening to different things?
Maybe I want to say maybe month and a half ago. It's fairly recent.
Okay,
Maybe a little
okay,
bit more than
okay.
that because I was doing it already around Thanksgiving. So around the month and a half to 2 month mark.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. The reason I asked that is because I feel like a big reason for me that I'll watch like even music like reactions or YouTube reviews or stuff rather than just go listen to music is that I get home and like I want something passive whenever I'm trying to like entertain myself.
Totally.
And I, I want something that I don't have to really think too hard, think too critically to watch it, and it's not going to activate my brain in a way that's just going to spend more energy. Where I could sit here and say, well, this album, I want to have thoughts on the album, so let me listen to it and then have active thoughts on what I feel about the album in a way where a YouTube review, I'm not gonna. A YouTube video is not going to change my life for the most part. It takes
Right.
very few people are able to do something like that. So, yeah, just actively engaging in content, or how about this? Actively engaging in art. Let's show some respect. I think that's a good way to just get more immersed into the art form and find more appreciation in it. I think that's exactly what you're doing with this little journey here.
It is, man. And yeah, it's the intent of it, right? Like I can't sit down and listen to Igor by Tyler the Creator passively and come away with all the thoughts that I would if versus sitting down and listening to it, right? But that's what I've been enjoying doing. I've actually my podcast listening has gone down so much because I'm just when I'm gonna go on, drive to school or something like that, I'm thinking of what album I'm gonna listen to this time, and I pop on an album and I listen to it, and then what I'm studying, and in my breaks for studying, I'll continue listening to albums and stuff like that. So it's been a ton of fun, man. It's been a ton of fun.
Mm. Gee Willikers. Yeah, that sounds exactly like what I want to do. And it's honestly something I might try to incorporate into everything next year because especially this year, like, look, I know that it says 16,000 minutes listened to on my Spotify Wrapped, but ultimately, I feel like this year I have had less time to comfortably do a lot of things that I like. I have not played that many games. I have not listened to very many new albums at all outside of Babytron. And I've seen a couple movies because movies is a thing that me and Gabby do together a lot. But a lot of these other single player keep to myself type things I haven't been making time for it. And that is something I definitely want to do going into New Year, similar to you, where I want to make time to listen to, oh, what's this new artist that people keep telling me about or I keep seeing or whatever? What's this album? What are the classics that I need to go through? Because I had a year where I listened to all the Jay-Z albums for the first time. And that was a really fun and insightful year. And I got a lot of favorite songs out of that experience. But I could stand to do that for some other artists or just look out there and see what else is new.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah, that's really good.
the thing that's been very helpful for me, and I've been talking it through with my dad as somebody who was a music guy his whole life, right? The thing that's been helpful for me is to have content creators whose opinions I respect enough that I can be a little guided, right? Like I can know kind of where to look rather than just let me figure it out by myself, right? And the other thing I've been doing is if there's this artist that I haven't listened to much of, instead of just listening to whatever their first album, I'll listen to what's considered to be one of their better works first and just
Indeed.
get the best experience first and then go from there, right?
Hmm. Exactly.
So
That's
it's been fun.
that's the best way to do it, honestly. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that journey. I did not expect that to be the case. When you said Beatles on your list, I'm like, how the fuck are you even who's listening? Okay, I shouldn't say who's listening to the Beatles in 2023, but like who's starting with the Beatles? Who's like, oh, you know what? Let me finally listen to that.
Yeah, let me check those guys out. And the thing is,
Exactly.
I've been very familiar with a lot of Beatles music, but I've up until now had never really sat down and listened to a record like front to back, right? And now I've done
Hmm.
that with 4, 5 Beatles records, and I'm very glad I did. So yeah, no, it's next year's Wrapped. I'm very interested in.
Yeah, oh Lord. I I'm a little nervous about that because like I said, how I've been treating music this year, I have to be better about it to have some type of a respectable Spotify Wrapped instead of just like the four people I already like and then maybe one person that I found.
Totally.
Um, I like to have more eclectic mix, but I will say Gabby's already getting me on the eclectic train. I've listened to a lot of Japanese R&B.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's
So
go.
you might have some Unicode errors in my Spotify Wrapped next year because
Amazing.
there's no kanji in my keyboard.
Yeah.
So
Also,
yeah,
shout out
we'll
to
see
Caro
about it.
Caro Bonito. Been listening to that. The people who made the Bug Snacks sound song.
They make good music.
They
I was
make
listening to them for
really
a
good music,
while.
dude.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
actually that was a couple years ago, but when they dropped that Bugsnax song, I went looking for other songs and I was rolling it up on YouTube every other day for a while. So it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. It's real good stuff. It's a blast. Yeah, so
Indeed,
that's
indeed.
that's my year. I'm excited for our next episode because we will wrap up the year neatly. We'll
Mm.
do our second annual Spoonies. That'll be. I think it's gonna be a very interesting one because we're both gonna have to dig deep because we haven't
Oh
done that
man.
much this year. So it's gonna be quite
Yeah.
an interesting one.
Yeah, and exactly. And I will say get ready for next year because next year might be even more because I'm
Let's
going to be
go.
in school on top
Sweet.
of a full-time job
Both of
and
us
all
will
this
be
other
doing
stuff.
this.
So,
Yeah, relationship, school, full time job. Let's go.
yeah, gonna love it. But I am excited about the next episode. Um, I'm going to say I don't want to say anything. I'll wait until it's a surprise, but there's one show that literally no one talks about at all. That I'm very
Ooh,
excited to finally talk
ooh.
about on this next thing.
Okay.
Um, but I'll have to convince you to vote with me on it because I don't think you've seen it either.
I'm all ears. I'm open to being
Yeah.
drawn.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll have our arguments, and you're gonna kick me in the face for one thing, but we'll have fun. We'll have
Oh
fun.
boy. Oh boy. Well, ladies,
Uh,
gentlemen, non-binary folks, we are excited for next year. Next year, next I guess yeah, next year. But next week's Spoonies will to wrap up the year. If you have anything interesting in your Spotify Wrapped, or if you're listening to new music or anything like that, you can chat with us in the comments below. For now, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.